Hey guys, Mike Miller from Hitfilm University here, and I'd like to talk about the exciting news of July 2021, which is, of course, the acquisition of FXhome by Artlist. I think that some members of the community might have a few concerns about this merger, but I think that Josh put up a very good video on YouTube talking about that. I happen to be one of the forum moderators on the FXhome forum and an FXhome brand ambassador. And the day before the announcement was made, the staff at FXhome had a meeting, virtual Zoom meeting, with the ambassadors and moderators of the forum to talk about this merger. I'll admit, most of the moderators, including myself, when we first saw that this acquisition was going to happen, we were all a little okay. And then Josh and Kirstie and Phil all started talking about why they were excited about this process and why they felt this was the right direction for FXhome. And they managed to convince all of us in about 5 minutes that this was absolutely the right way to go. And there were a couple of things that were talked about in the meeting that Josh did not talk about in the video that FXhome posted up on YouTube. The staff at FXhome have been nice enough to let me take a couple of excerpts from that Zoom meeting and share them with you. And in this first excerpt, Josh is going to talk about some of the benefits to FXhome that will come out of this acquisition.
So it's like this massive scale, but they wanted to do the same thing as us. And then they said the very brilliant words of, well, you wouldn't be integrating with another team. You would still be you. You guys that are running FXhome, you get to keep on running FXhome. But we will enable you to get more people, do more things, it kind of became a simple decision of like, we could do something really, really awesome. Even, we don't have to worry about render engines and whether we're going to support the latest Mac this or the latest PC that. We can do all of it. We can build a team that allows us to do all of it, and we can be the best at what we do rather than the best at some things. And the story of FXhome isn't changing. It's just going to get like a shot in the arm to be like mega FXhome. But yeah, it wasn't an easy decision until we realized that actually they want to do the same things as us.
Now, the second excerpt that I'm going to show in a minute, this is the one that I really, really wanted to put in front of you guys. Speaking for myself, Josh will say that the moment in the story that I'm about to play is the moment that he really realized that this was the way to go. And during the meeting, this is certainly the story that completely brought me around to thinking that this was genuinely the best thing that FXhome could do.
The moment for me that made me want to do this is because the two CEOs of the company, they called me and had a meeting with me because they had both been using Hitfilm, and they got their entire creative team to just use Hitfilm, and they were just firing at me like, could you do this? Have you thought about doing this? We could make this a bit faster. What about this? And we've never ever in our experience had anyone at that kind of senior level really actually bother installing the software. But this was the entire senior team all just using Hitfilm and critiquing it as creatives, because they are video creatives too. In fact, that's always been my way of thinking about the product, like actually try it and use it and see what you think of it. So yeah, they felt like real amazing team players to have on side.
Okay, so again, in any kind of corporate acquisition, whether it's media or software or any other type of thing, it is very rare for the senior management and senior staff to be that involved in the research phase. It usually is some lower level staffer who will write a bullet point memo and send that off to corporate, and somebody will make a decision based solely on a profit loss statement. And that's not what's going on here. There is genuine interest from the staff at Artlist and genuine excitement about the FXhome product line. And they're going to help FXhome make their product the best that it can be. And things aren't going to be changing for the moment. All the original devs are going to be there. All the senior staff are going to be there. FXhome is going to be run like FXhome for the foreseeable future. It's just going to give them a shot of resources to be able to develop Hitfilm faster, to be able to move to things like getting an Apple M1 chip optimized version out to market sometime soon. Maybe all the people who've been hoping for a Linux version of Hitfilm, maybe it's now actually economically viable for FXhome to do that. So this is just a good thing for the community. And the metaphor I've been using on social media is this is kind of like the Disney-Pixar merger. And when Disney bought Pixar, they left all the senior staff in place. They left John Lasseter in there. They left all the senior artists in place. And they did tell Pixar that X amount of films needed to be sequels or prequels, but for the most part, they just left Pixar alone to be Pixar. And that's kind of where I see this going with the Artlist FXhome acquisition, where FXhome is going to pretty much be left alone to do the things that FXhome does well, but do them better. Will Artlist have their say? Of course they will. That's part of why you buy the company. As Josh said in the second excerpt, they had their plans for how to improve the software. The FXhome staff didn't go into detail with us, with we moderators, but I wouldn't be surprised if the things that the Artlist staff want to change are basically the same things that we, the users, have been sticking on the FXhome form and all the feature request threads for the last year. I don't think that anybody needs to worry that this is the downfall of FXhome and that they've sold out and that everything's going to change and everything's going to get more expensive and oh my God, it's just money grubbing. That's not what this is about. This is the merger of two companies that are really dedicated to bringing resources and software to young, upcoming, or independent filmmakers, and this is just going to be better for both of them, and that's going to ultimately be better for us in the community. So I hope this video helps assuage any fears or concerns that any of you might have regarding this merger, because I genuinely think that this is a great thing, and I can't wait to see what 2022 brings to the FXhome software lineup. Thanks for watching.
I've been up for about 24 hours, and that's why I haven't been the whole time.
Don't worry, we've been feeling exactly the same way.